Certainly you want to be past the stage of, well, I don't know, so maybe I'll apply to the seminary. But if you're at a point where, I really think I may be, but I'm not sure, the seminary actually provides those kind of opportunities for greater discernment.
Yes, a lot of people wonder about what is the role of discernment once the man enters the seminary. Is discernment done? And discernment certainly takes on a different character when the person is in the seminary, but discernment is still happening. The man is still wondering, am I growing in virtue? Am I growing in love of holy things? Am I happy here? And so those first initial years, he's still wondering, is this for me?
It's a continued discernment process. It's over the course of many years. So we have our first year pre-theologian, second year, then 4 years of theology. You have a formation advisor, you have a spiritual director, confessor. So you have a lot of people helping you to help discern God's voice in God's call for you.
And then at some point during his formation, he says, okay, I firmly believe I am being called. And while he's still welcome to leave, his focus begins to shift. Now he's thinking not so much about, am I called, but what does it mean that I'm called? How is it that I will live out this vocation that I think I am being called to and to which I am saying yes to?
So the question doesn't have to be answered completely at the beginning, but obviously when you're coming in, it's a step to say, I think seriously, this is where God's calling me to. But there's a lot of space for people to discern and to see how God's calling them to grow. And over the years, in religious life, in diocesan life, there's all kinds of discernment as you go along. So you could be called into formation for a couple of years, grow closer to the Lord, and there could be clarity with your vocation in the midst of that. And it takes great courage to say, God has called me in, and perhaps God is calling me out.
As time goes on, you either become more and more comfortable and sure of that vocation, or perhaps you realize, oh, actually that's not for me. I'm maybe called to marriage. I'm called to another vocation. But I think almost any man who goes to seminary probably would say that they got something out of that experience, even if they end up using it in another vocation.
The way that we have our formation here is that each seminarian meets with their spiritual director every other week. So we can get in depth with some of the questions that might be arising. We have formation nights, human formation nights, pastoral formation nights. There's a lot of input and a lot of space to be able to pray. Our horarium feeds that with our daily, all centered around the Eucharist with Mass in the morning, ending the day in the afternoon at 5 with Holy Hour. And we really encourage the men as well as ourselves to be in a receptive space during that time, to be open to the Lord, that we may gaze upon Him and He may gaze upon us. So built into the schedule is a lot of time that we leave so the Holy Spirit can continue to nurture the vocation that's there.